It's your girl Shells, and welcome back to another episode of Mama Drama Podcast. We are joined by Alicia and a very special guest, Rob, who is from go on.
The social worker and the mentor. Big up Nana. Yeah, you know the thing already, man.
There we go. These guys are literally hitting the net by storm, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. They literally just started not too long ago. I remember when Nana was DMing me saying, Shells, how do you do this? How do you do that? And now I'm seeing them going viral on TikTok and stuff like that. Guys, if you're obviously into social work content, if you're into youth work content, if you're into education content, even like politics and stuff like that, these guys are where it's at. They keep it 100. They talk from black male perspectives, but I'm not going to do too much talking in it. We've got Rob here. We had to drag him out of his bed Sunday morning.
I tried.
But yeah, he's not feeling his drip today because he's normally drippier.
Yeah.
But he's got the grey and we're all matching. We're in sync. Can you see?
Yes.
Different shades of grey, boy.
Yeah.
Grey's Anatomy.
And as you can see, guys, yeah, I think my tongue's good today. I said the drip's dripping. You can see the drinks here. Drip Punch. Shout out Drip Punch. Thank you for sending us these drinks. We are enjoying. We're lit. It's a vibe. We are going to be talking about serious things today. We're keeping it serious, but we also have to obviously put a light spin on it because the world is really heavy right now. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are a listener, please rate us 5 stars where possible. Let's get straight into it. Rob, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you decided to then join the podcast and start that.
Wait. All right, so yeah, my name's Robert. Hey, I'm shy, you know, today.
Don't feel shy. This guy, he can talk, you know, guys. He can talk. He's a talker.
No, we have this effect.
Yeah.
When men come in, we have this effect.
Are we intimidating?
We're like,
No, you mad? Listen, all right, okay, listen, yeah. All right.
I know, it's like, what? No.
Go on, Rob, go on, tell us.
Yeah, so my name's Robert. Gosh, do you know what? People always say to me, what do you do?
Yeah.
And I can't really answer it, you know, because I'm quite unique in what I do, okay?
Correct.
So I'm actually not a youth worker.
Okay.
I've got my youth worker qualifications. All right, so I started as a TA in a school. Then I became a youth worker. Then I became a learning mentor in a secondary school. Then the school paid for me to be a qualified child counsellor. Then from a qualified child counsellor, I went to a local authority. Then I worked for the youth offending service. Then I got headhunted to work in Channel Prevent. So there's a whole heap of things that I do. So I can't even really, you're a youth worker. I've actually got to think of a title of what I do, you know, to cut it short. But I just tell people I'm a behaviour mentor consultant specialist.
That's a mouthful.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. So that's sort of like my title. Regarding the podcast now, I'm an idea man. Yeah. I'm always thinking of ideas. My favorite word is organic. You know, the word organic, fresh, new, bringing something new to the table. And like everyone else, during COVID now, everyone was starting a podcast. And I thought, wow, this relationship thing and football and, this is dead. It was not dead, but I just thought, I don't want to do the same thing everyone else is doing. And let's not get it twisted. There's a massive market for that. But one day, I was looking at my phone book. You know the thing already, yeah. Right? It's not the black book, it's the brown book. Yeah. And I was looking through the phone book one day and I'm thinking, I got some great people in my phone book. And what I mean by that, professional wise, thinking, I've got barristers, solicitors, teachers, mentors, people that work for CAMS, people that work in semi-independent, so on and so on and so on. So one day now, probably for about 2-3 weeks, I did some case studying or research. I thought, there's no one on YouTube or social media that's actually really talking about our sector. Then I began to notice there's quite a lot of social workers now. And I thought, I actually work with social workers. Actually, I'm probably an unqualified social worker. I can get my social worker qualification, but we'll go into that in a minute. So and I thought, there's no one really doing it, you know, or no one that works with all these professionals. So I thought, okay, let me just try a thing. So I started a podcast called Let's Talk with a Mohawk. Anyone that knows me, I've got the mohawk. It looks a bit mad today, so the hat's not even coming off. tell you that today. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good. But I thought something's missing, that kick, and I need someone to sort of like bounce off. So my brother Nana, what he didn't know, because me and Nana would talk for hours and hours just about work, good conversation with substance. Just
Nana can chat, guys. Nana can talk.
Listen, if you're talking for marathon, yeah, that's the guy, man. Big up Nana anyway. But so we were talking, I'm thinking, rah, yeah, Nana. You know what I mean? So I thought I'm a mentor. He's a social worker, and we bounce with each other. We don't always agree, but that's nice. It's great conversation of substance, but we agree to disagree, and we just talk about what's going on in our sector. We both deal with vulnerable young people, unfortunately, and families, child protection, etc., etc., etc. I mean, strategy meeting. So is he, and I thought, right, like we're sort of like crossing over. But once again, as I said before, he's a qualified social worker. But I specialize in youth offending. I'm a probation officer. I work with trying to prevent. So everything that he does, I do, but we're two different titles and everything. But we're man them. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes you have to just talk the thing. Yeah, like, brother, I don't like that, or they're jarring me, or they're getting on my nerves. Bruv, did you hear what Brother's doing? Do you understand? So the world is changing. The world's changing. And sometimes you need like man them like us to just talk the thing. And as you said just now before, it's heavy right now in London, man. So yeah, that's how it started and everything. And listen, 2024, jeez, it's gonna be a mad thing. Yeah, man. Films, documentaries, events, it's all happening, man. Sick. T-shirts, hoodies, you name it, man. I'm actually in the process of opening my own semi-independent as well. So yeah, things are going, man. So I'm trying.
Well done.
I'm just trying to ting in it, man.
Yeah.
So.
Can I just segue into this a little bit? Because the reason why I'm a manager of a team that specializes, well, they call us specialists, but I believe social workers, when you choose your field, your specialism is children, adults, or whatever. We specialize in 11 to 17-year-olds that are impacted by child sexual exploitation, CCE, and a whole other offer stuff. You're semi-independent. Is it a specialist?
Yeah, it's going to be one. Yeah. So
in what?
Once again, the word organicness. So one of the things I've always wanted to do. Can I tell you a quick story? Is that all right? Yeah.
Come on, talk
all right. So during COVID, once again, I was thinking of I like writing things down. When I drive, I paint pictures. That's why I'm getting into filming now, because I've got this knack. I just paint pictures. It's almost like you put something out there and it happens. I'm sort of like that. So during COVID now, one day I was bored, but I thought this in the house thing is just getting long. So I just went driving. I just went driving for a couple of days, and I ended up in Bournemouth. Anyway, now, so I've always wanted to open up my own semi-independent, but I didn't know at what capacity or what exactly. What it looks like. Yeah. Anyway, now, so I like a bit of trash TV. I like a little bit of love and hip hop and everything. Yeah. Anyway, now, so watching love and hip hop one day, and it was like a counselling thing. It was like marriage couples who was on the verge of breaking up, or their relationship is not going to plan. So the counselors and therapists, they put like these programs together. The couples was in their house for like 10 days. Thinking, rah, this is all right, like we need something like this in the UK. So writing down things on paper, and I thought, oh my gosh, we don't have any wellbeing centres in London. No one's not doing it. Yeah. So it's a specialised wellbeing centre. And what I mean by that is, yes, it's education. Yes, we deal with safeguarding, making sure that we put the right plan in place for that particular young person, but it's all based around well-being and mental health. So it's a specialised centre, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a new thing, one of its kind. I'm actually trying to do like a residential as well, maybe from like weekends or Monday to Fridays. So yes, it's going to be a specialised centre based around well-being and mental health that covers identity, choices and decisions, and accountability. Because I think them three things, particularly for the young people that I work with, they're the three main things that they sort of like they need help with, basically. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like I'm talking too much,
Amazing.
No, because when I'm hearing this, I'm like, yes, because these are the things that I identify with, and I think what's missing, and when we're seeing all this madness on the roads right now, where the kids like stabbing each other, I've had conversations with Shells, I've had conversations with my other social work colleagues, and I'm like, mental health, man, mental health, the mental health of these black boys, and what they've experienced, PTSD. Like, these are conversations that we're not having. Cams are on their knees and they need support. And I've had this and some people are like, stop using an excuse for these young people. And I'm like, it's not an excuse, it's what they've experienced. And then it pours out, and then we see them make these bad decisions.
Yeah, 100%. Do you know? I go into a lot of semi-independence on a weekly basis. It's part of my current role, and yeah. You get to see everything. Like, so obviously, so some of my caseload are young girls, some of my caseload are boys. So some of the girls, I might do a room check with the key worker. She's got a period pad in the corner. I'm like, right, what are you doing? Oh, I couldn't be bothered today. What do you mean you couldn't be bothered today? But it's mental health, it's well-being. She don't feel good about herself. She's not aware that, listen, as a woman, you need to pick up your thing in the corner, put it in the bag, and put it in the bin. Some of the boys, they've got they got last week's cornflakes bowl in the corner, sir. You're thinking, right, listen, pick up the thing, go and wash. You know, also, there's abuse. You know, and I don't know if I can get deeper, but you know, all right. So even like on the job, right? Yeah, I learned about them being maybe sexually abused. I had one case one time where he kept peeing in his shoes and doing a number two and putting a number two or shit in bags and putting it underneath the bed. When the key worker's calling me now, she's like, right, Robbie, you need to come now. So she's giving me a scarf now. I go into the room. I'm like, what's that smell? You know, it was so bad. Like the smell was in my throat for about 10 days, you know. It was awful, you know. By the way, now I learned that this young person had been sexually abused. I'm like, what? Now in my counselling, I learned that, but I didn't.
You didn't put it together.
No, straight away. Yeah. But then when I was informed by the psychotherapist, and she goes, yeah, he's been abused. I go, nah, are you sure? And then probably about maybe 4 weeks after that, he broke down and told me. So it's very much on the job training as well, like with a lot of these things, because some things you're not prepared for, man. But it's mad. It's mad.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why we wanted to get you on was to like look at and explore like the current what's going on.
The epidemic.
Yeah. Like what is actually happening in London. And I'm just honing in on London because a lot of us are Londoners. Yeah, we are all Londoners, yeah. Obviously we do have listeners in USA, India as well, but London is the city, I would say that one of the biggest cities in the UK, in terms of economic, in terms of multicultural, in terms of different religions and all of that. So you've got like a large demographic of different people who live in London. And I think obviously we know what we've been hearing, but obviously they may not know. So in terms of what's been going on, and I'll say it's been happening for a long time now, very long time, where there are gangs and where young black boys, and it's not only black boys, but it's predominantly young black boys are using knives. They are using guns, but predominantly knives because you can get your hand on a knife.
They're swords, man.
They're not even, they're not even knives anymore. They're not your standard IKEA kitchen. They're literally the size of your thigh from your hip, And they are using these weapons, and we did highlight in the ex-police officer ep, make sure you guys check it out. But they're using these sorts of weapons, this armed artillery to go and kill essentially another young black person. Now I want to get into it because there's just so many angles that we can look at this from. First of all, Rob, like, have you, and even you, Leash, have you had any kind of like first-hand experience with a young person, either it be through work or a family member that you're aware of, or even a friend that either has stabbed someone, you don't need to disclose that on the pod, or has been a victim of that violence?
Yeah, it's standard. It's normal. But the normality is a dysfunction. But it's now normalized. But it's normal, yeah. I'll tell you a quick story. Not cool. Something I went through. So, in 2000 and what are we in 23 now? 2021, I had a caseload of about 40 young people. I lost 7 of them to knife crime. They're no longer here. One of them, I remember I went to the gym, I came home, it's probably about 6 o'clock in the morning. I kept getting bare messages on my duty phone. I'm like, "Bro, what's going on here?" But sometimes like
You
uh,
need to switch off.
I need to switch off. I
Yeah.
thought, no, I'm not gonna answer this thing until like 9:30 or 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kept getting worse. I thought, right, something's happened. I was thinking, what's going on? So they told me that one of my cases had passed away. So obviously, I actually spoke to the case 24 hours ago. What were you talking about? I remember I sat in my bed, I just cried. But you know what? That was months and months of the whole losing not just one, several of them. And I just cried and cried and cried and cried. And you know what? Looking back now, I didn't even um go to counseling or therapy, and they offered it to me. Um, but I think it's just become so normalized, and that's what it is now. It's like making a cup of tea. Oh yeah, did you hear someone got stuff? Okay, and everyone just keeps it moving. But it's a dysfunction, and it's a bad dysfunction, and it's horrible. But I've just become quite cold and shallow and immune to it now. And okay, this is what we're gonna do. It's almost like it's imprinted in me, where to a degree it's like, all right, um, where were they living? Where's mum and dad? What was the scenario? Was it gang related? So I've got it. It's almost like it's like it's part of my daily routine now. I just expect it now.
Because your process thought is like methodical. Almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, and I know what I think needs to be done, but
Tell us.
No, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Because
Yeah.
I still want us to explore this further. Like,
Yeah.
why do we feel that? Why is this happening? Essentially, what if somebody asks you who didn't live in London, didn't know nothing about UK culture, UK lifestyle, and they done like a survey or whatever, and that came up? Yeah, what would your explanations be for the reasons why young black boys are victims of violence?
Can I say?
Go ahead.
There's two things. So I watched the Newsnight. I don't know if you watched the Newsnight.
I hate watching the news, man.
But Newsnight was really good, yeah, because it spoke about why is it happening? Why has it been an epidemic? When did it start? Yeah, and it went way back. And I agree with the views that they had on Newsnight, because I believe in what the Labour government were doing at the time in regards to having children's centres and having youth clubs.
Yeah.
I think they were very integral in the community, and I used it. I don't know if you used it. I don't know if you used that children's centre.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
We used that, and actually, it was a good place for young people to come together.
Yeah.
You could be making music, you can just be jamming, you can be chilling, and everything was cool. And I think the removal of that made such a significant impact on the communities in different areas. What were the kids left to do? So if you didn't like sports, and not all children like sports, what else is then being done? Yeah. And if that's taken away, what then are you expecting them to do?
Yeah.
And then think about how times change and you've got the internet. And then you have to look at the influences and what are they talking about? And then how that influences then those young people. Yeah. Then you have the other side of it, because I was looking at one blog and I saw a lot of people from our community were blaming the parents, mums especially, yeah? Mums and their sons, and mums willing to cover up for their sons.
Yeah.
And fatherless households, and how that was impacting on the young men of today who are going to be young men walking on the street and doing, and I'm afraid, if I'm being honest, that what they're going to even turn out as adults. But those were two narratives what I saw the most. And then there was a third one that we don't do enough as a black community.
No, we don't though. We don't. We think we are, but we're not.
Yeah, but we're not. But what is it that we should be doing in the respect of resources? Because I think that the government taking away certain things has made a massive impact.
Yeah.
A massive impact. And it can't only just be like, what are we going to do as a community? Also, what are you going to provide us to help us at the same time? Because it's not only impacting on our community, it's impacting on the city, it's impacting on major cities. All up north, then the same sort of situation that we're in. It's the same communities as well that's fighting each other and doing stuff. what are we getting to help us? Because I'm sure there's loads of influential people like yourself that have loads of ideas about how we could do things. People like myself who manage teams, that we have loads of ideas about what we can do and talk up the talks, like you said. Let's be real. Let's be real and look at it. But I think it's so many different stuff. Almost like, where do you start? How do we start?
All right, well, this is where we start. Okay, right, yeah. So I'm gonna break this down into a couple of different things. Okay, right, yeah. So it starts at home first of all, right, yeah. But before I get to home, I'm gonna get to school before I get to home, right, yeah. So I go into a lot of schools, and I talk to a lot of young people, and forget the teachers. I'm asking the young people, what do we need to do? They're the ones that are telling us, not the adults. What do you want? So first of all, unfortunately, there needs to be more workshops in primary schools. See, year 5 and 6, right? We need to do transition programs where we're preparing them for secondary schools, right? And what I mean by transition is you talk to them about grooming, you talk to them about gang relation, you talk to them about knife crime. These are potential things that you're going to hear or see when you go into secondary school. Because if they're alert from young, and they're like, oh yeah, this guy's trying to groom me, or oh, they're talking gang talk, or even things like the family home. Yeah, I always use Timmy as an example now. Yeah, now, unfortunately, we live in a world where mum and dads do break up. Yeah, they don't they don't stay together. From young, teach them about, because for me, I always ask the young people, does school prepare you for real life? And a lot of them say to me, Robert, no, it doesn't. And for me, the world is changing, and for me, that has to be a priority. We need more lessons on in the school curriculum where you talk about life skills. That one day Timmy's gonna meet a girl. One day they might break up. One day they might have a baby. One day Timmy might not be able to see his child anymore. One day Timmy might be involved in a DV. Timmy, no, don't put your hand on a woman. Teach them. Let's mold them. Yeah, let's nurture him. And for me, the nurturing is not there. It's very business like, maths and English. Oh, let's read mice and men. I'm not trying to say not saying that's not important. Learning how to read is important. Learning how to do subtraction and maths is important. But listen, in 2023, when the world is in a very fucked up, bad place right now, life skills is very important more than ever right now. It's a necessity. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Like, yeah, a lot of these boys, they don't know how to control their emotions. You say to a black boy, you're going counseling. Oh no, later. No, I'm not doing that. Straight away, zoom, he puts his guard up because he hears the word counseling or therapist or psychotherapist. Yeah. So we got to think of different names to make it sound a little bit more cooler. You know, so it could be like life coach. What's a life coach? Oh no, 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 no. They're not silly, you know. It's even life coach. Maybe it's not the terminology, but we got to think of cooler names to allow them to like be comfortable and open up. And a lot of them, it's as they say, oh, nah, Robert, nah, I'm not a pussy, you know. Yeah, they put their guard up. It's being comfortable with your vulnerability, and that's the problem. They're not comfortable with their vulnerability. Yeah. Um, a young person told me last week, Robert, young people are obsessed with violence, and we're obsessed with violence due to lack of opportunity. That's what they said to me. I'm like, rah, that was deep. Listen, I got in my car now. I was like, whoa, that was a deep statement. He said, we are obsessed with violence due to lack of opportunity.
Do you think that's because of what they're surrounded by? Because there was another thing that I saw about road guys that have children and then how they nurture those children.
Yeah.
And are they being vulnerable, with their children? Or are they choosing to be like roadman lifestyle and it goes through and through irrespective? So I'll be interested to look at research to see like where some of those children that make those decisions, where do they come from? What is their background? And you need like a real social worker and stuff to understand actually is that person this and that. Do you know what I mean? To capture it. But I'll be interested to see where it stems from, because you also get young people, like you just said, they love violence. But I've worked on a case whereby, not I've worked on it, but it's been in my team, where this young boy, he comes from a middle class family. Family have money, not black, money. But he's choosing road life. and I would like to kind of see what is that, and is that replicated also in the Black community? Is it can they come from families whereby they're affluent and they still choose that lifestyle?
Yeah. All right. So
can I just say, I'm gonna, because we just spoke about a point, and you mentioned some key things, Rob, which I disagree with. So I just want to highlight that. I think that the schools, and I think that again with Foster, the ex-police officer that we had on, the schools are there to educate. Yeah. And I think that at some point in our history as Black people, we need to stop pointing outwards and start looking at the fingers that are pointing inwards. And I do feel like when I sit here and I think about like why, there's various factors, a lot of which you've highlighted. I do feel like where your origins have a massive role and impact on who you become, what you're going to do, who you're associated with. I also strongly believe, though, that once you do become a certain age and you're exposed to certain things, you're likely to be influenced. So you've mentioned 2 key points there, one is that there are some Black boys who come from, I'll say, decent families, isn't it? Their mum might be working a decent job, they've got enough money, they're not struggling, and they're okay. The mum can provide them and the dad can provide them with whatever they need, and they're absolutely fine. But they still make the active decision to become involved in that lifestyle. Then you've got the narrative of the young Black boys who have grown up in council estates, in poverty. Their mum's working a carer's job, but there's nothing wrong with being a carer, but we know that's not a high income role. Your dad is not about, you don't know who your dad is. Your mum might be pregnant again and has a few other children. Now you're the primary carer of those children whilst your mum's out doing her job. That narrative is very different because you're trying to survive. Do you get what I mean? You're saying, okay, cool, how can I make money so I can just live, so I can have the crepes, so I can have the garms?
Because those social pressures are
once
real.
again, once again, is what I'm saying to you, it's the lack of opportunity.
No, absolutely. And I agree with what that young person said. So there's an element, and I think it is poverty is real. It's a very real thing, but that's a percentage. Then we have another percentage of young people who are influenced by the culture. They're influenced by what they see. They're groomed, they're exploited, and then they also get trapped in a lifestyle. Something that I was thinking about was that back in the day, maybe back in the day, it used to be ends. If you're from London Fields, I'm just using East London examples, you're from London Fields, and you know you're not ramping with someone from South because they're from South, innit? Now, you can walk down the main high road, on this side of the high road, you're still E9 or you're still E5 or you're still E8. But on this side, you're from that area. And on that side, you're from that area. Then you got these two that are from the same E8. Your postcode is exactly the same, you know. You walk across the road. It's a different gang. Across that road is another gang. It's round the corner. And you guys are killing each other. Now, I'm sitting here thinking, now, what is this?
It's mental health.
That was also what I find as well is some of these young people that come through, this is from my experience, just through working, some of these that are brethren from school, primary school. And they will be like,
that's my op.
That's been my boy, but he's now my op. And you're like, the heck? So what, you're literally going to stab him? And they literally do this, though. They will do this and they will gloat about this. They will snap about it. Rid it. It will capture everything. I've learned so much of these young people. Social media is a mazza, It is so crazy how it influences so much of the culture because it is a culture for them. And it's a scary, scary ass culture. And I'm a bit with Shells in this. When we talk about school, I'm a bit with that as well. I do think there's a bit of both, though. I do think education should come from school, but I don't think it should come from teachers. I think it should be people coming outside, outsource, to come in schools to prepare them. But I don't necessarily feel it should be part of a curriculum. That's the difference.
Now, do you know, actually, I mean, like, you're both right, 100%. Like, you've made fantastic points, and you are right, because school is, I mean, I'm not blaming schools, by the way, right? I'm just saying that children spend a lot of time in school. They spend more time in school than they do with their own parents. Right, So while you're there, right, yeah, and you're absolutely right, because there's actually some schools that block professionals going in to do that, to like maybe deliver workshops or talks on, could be vulnerabilities or knife crime or dealing with your emotions or mental health or well-being or relationships, whatever, whatnot. But these are vital things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is as well, these children are crying out for help. They're crying out for help. They're saying, "Listen, help me." Right? Yeah. But silently, what do I need to do? So for me, it's like you are absolutely right, man. But I think what probably needs to happen a bit more is that um, all right, at the rappers, oh yeah, because if you think of young people, who are the people that they look up to? They adore the rappers. They adore the actors. Like if you're a top actor, oh my god, that's their guy, right? Yeah. So this is where it's like, okay,
I agree. I think I even know where you're alluding to, because I was thinking about
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
before we even done
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
recording, because I think they have so much of a heavy influence.
Massive influence.
What
Massive
are they
influence.
doing?
What?
And they will say it's not their responsibility. But I would say take ownership and accountability also in what you're doing. So if you don't agree with certain stuff, because if it was them in the shoes of that parent, what will they do?
Yeah.
What will they look at? Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
like
flip it though.
it's a double
It's a
double-sided
double-edged-
sword, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, and I think it's difficult because you have to manage it. Yeah.
I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna say that in the Black community, personally, and maybe this might not be generally from my family, but I do feel like there is a lack of positive Black male presence. Yeah. So if we don't have positive Black male influence, yeah, as Black adult men doing positive Black things within the community actively, and you've got them either sending young boys out to shot, sending young boys out to conch, doing mad things, yeah, whatever, yeah, and it's negativity, that is what is going to influence our young people, right? That's what they're seeing. Yeah, if they're exposed to that lifestyle, that's what they're seeing. Yeah. And then you've got people who rap, who who might have lived a lifestyle, now they're glorifying it because I'm showing you, cool, I've come from nothing. And now I've got the chains, I've got the girls, I'm in a club, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Yeah, they do have a responsibility. Absolutely. I don't disagree with you. But I want to know, where are the positive Black males? Where are they? Because these kids need that. That's what, especially young Black men. Once a boy reaches a certain age, you don't need his mum anymore. You need your dad. You don't go fishing with your mum.
No, I agree.
You go fishing with your dad. So where are the men? What are the dads doing? Yeah. And that is, I'm going to put that out there. Where are they?
But can I just spin it then just a little bit, yeah? Just before you speak.
Yeah.
I think when we talk about Black, I also think we need to be specific sometimes as well.
Okay, go on.
And I'm going to take this ownership as a Caribbean woman.
Yeah, okay.
It's in our community, the Caribbean community.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the names that you see that are coming up, they're from our community, they're Caribbeans.
100%.
And then you have to look at our history as Caribbeans and the history of, I'm a single mum, like I said, but I don't come from a single parent household. I come as a nuclear family. And I think the times are changing in regards to how Caribbeans in Great Britain, I can't speak for anywhere else because I know this experience and what we've been experiencing, is the lack of that, the lack of the father in the home. And I think it's all too so much common and almost accepted enough.
Massive thing.
It is, and
Massive.
I think it because you got to see the names.
It's
The
massive.
names that you see are Caribbean names. You see this. You can't ignore that. I'd be ignorant to be acting like it's all Black. No, it's predominantly Caribbean. It's Caribbean boys. Let's be real. Yeah. So then you have to then draw it back even further. Then.
So all right. So a local authority that I work for, before COVID started, they set up. Basically, they got a shitload of money. And I'm not gonna tell you the amount, but it was a big amount of money.
Tell me after, I might want to work for them.
Anyway, now, so they put together this fantastic program, and at the time in 2021, they kept using the word called BAME, BAME.
That.
All right, right, BAME. Okay, right, But what they found is that there was a certain criteria of Black, African, minority ethnic groups was affected during COVID. They also found as well that the BAME, Black, African, minority ethnic group young people had 80% of single parent mothers without fathers. So that's Black, African Caribbean. There's more, but Black African Caribbean. So there's African Caribbean. That's Jamaican, St. Lucia, Ghanaian, Nigerian. Yeah, all right. So in London right now, most schools are Black African. Yeah, most of the school, most of the young people are Black students. Let's just keep it real, right? Yeah. Now, unfortunately, as you said before, and it's a massive thing when you said it before, it's just there's a lot of single parent mothers. There's too many single parent mothers outweigh couples that are together. And you're thinking, what's going on here? Now this is the problem as well, and this is why I big up women so much, especially Black women, because not just Black women, but all women that are single anyway. But if we're talking about Black Caribbean African women right now, there's a lot of them are single, and a lot of them need help. A lot of them are doing mummy and daddy's job. Now, once again, I want to have my probation youth offending hat on. Yeah, when I go to court with these young people, right, 99% of the time, daddy's not there. There's no dads. There's no dad at all.
Yeah, I asked, where are the Black men?
Yeah.
Where are they?
They're not there.
But I've spin it. I had this case whereby it was all in the media and whatever, the work, and we contacted the dad, and the dad was like, he was being prevented by the mum, not allowing him to be part of that family unit and allowing him to put his input into. And it was a stabbing, by the way. Someone died and all this sort of stuff. And he was like, she wasn't allowing him to be part of the unit to put his input. Now, she weren't great. She weren't communicating. We were being very specific as well. So I made sure there was a Black social worker. He wasn't old, was quite young, kind of. He was out there trying to engage, and she wasn't engaging. Yeah, she wasn't engaging. He engaged to a certain degree, but only to say what his qualms were. And then it was like, I hear your qualms, but what are you doing about it? And I think sometimes the case is you can make noise, but what are you actively doing at the same time?
So me and Nana, right, yeah? And one thing me and Nana, so a large part of my caseload is fathers are always reaching out to me. Robert, I'm fed up here now. And you know, I think it's quite important that I say that as a Black man, also as a parent as well. I think it's very important that I say this as well, right? Yeah. And we talk about community, right? Yeah. One of the things that needs to happen in our community, right? Yeah, with organizations and coming together, right? Yeah, we need more togetherness. Sometimes it just gets to the point, like mothers and fathers, like forget blaming each other. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna give you a slight preview what I'm doing now. So I'm actually doing a short film right now. Yeah. It's called Dick. Right, yeah. Now you're thinking, rah, what's man talking about? So it's not what you're thinking, it's D.I.C.
An acronym, yeah.
Yeah. It stands for Depriving an Innocent Child. It's a film I'm actually making right now, okay, right, yeah. So it's called Depriving an Innocent Child. And it's based on a man meeting a woman meeting a man, everything nice, to drink, yeah. You know what I mean? We're dating, yeah. Texting, talk on the phone, sending Jodeci tunes to each other. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Two boys sitting in Jagged Edge tunes and everything, like, yeah. Right? Then the baby comes.
Yeah.
Baby comes and
things ain't sweet.
Man ain't getting no loving no more. He's thinking, right, what's going on here? She's a little bit miserable. She's overtired. And then things just go left. And unfortunately, things just seem to be going more left than right, unfortunately, right? Yeah, which is part of life. So the point I was trying to make in this short film that I'm doing is that we got to do better, guys. Because one of the things I kept hearing last year, the mum. No. Stop blaming the mum.
Take accountability.
Yeah. Because as a man, as a Black man, right, you got to do better. And that's the point I'm trying to get across. We all got to do better. There's lack of togetherness, and that's the problem. Stop putting down each other. Yeah, after a while, it's jarring.
It's null and void.
Yes,
it's not furthering anything with the child. Like, you're just arguing for the sake of arguing to have points.
Like, and the person that loses out
is the child. Yeah.
And that's why I called it depriving an innocent child. Because sometimes you have to do things have to appear on screen sometimes
to resonate with people.
Yeah, like, oh, did you see that film?
Yeah.
To give them some self-reflection and everything. Do you know what I mean? Everything, man. So
also another point would to be adding onto that is what that child is exposed to. So when the parents are having PASA and they're not agreeing with each other, that child is now exposed to conversations that they shouldn't even be hearing like to levels of detail and all this, because people be petty. Yeah.
Listen, guys. Sometimes over the years, I do a home visit or I've got a case. Mum and dad are telling the child, walk on. I'm thinking, right, what? What are you doing? Oh yeah, we broke up because your mum had
An affair.
had an affair. I'm like,
Yeah.
What
And
you-
that's what I was alluding to. Too much information.
too much, man. But you have to remember as well, parents need help. Parents need a lot of help.
Absolutely.
And I think sometimes in my job role, even though I'm working with the child, the parents are ringing me like 6 o'clock in the morning. But then you know why? And then I had to realize, oh, actually, they need help as well. They need to vent. They need a safe space. They're going through it. Sometimes fathers, when I talk to like another man, this is what I'm going through. And yeah, it may be a bit of a pain, but then I think, no, do you know, I need to show some empathy as a professional. I think this man is going through hardship. He wants to communicate with his ex-partner, but and he doesn't know how. And he like, help me. Like, what do I do? And then sometimes I'll go talk to the mum. Listen, mum, do you know what? Right? Yeah, and be that in between. But we need more of that. We need more togetherness. And I just think there's a lack of togetherness in the community, in our Black community. And we're just blaming each other, unfortunately. And we're blaming each other to the point where, without realizing it, boy, we're neglecting the children. Yeah, you're looking after them, feeding them, roof over their head, clothing them. But hear what now? Mentally, emotionally, right? Yeah, we are forgetting our children, not on purpose. And that's what's happening, which is why they turn bad. They're looking for love, right? Yeah, because just remember, these children, they're very clued up, nowadays, They're very, very clued up. Like these girls nowadays, they're like 13 going on 18 already.
Yeah, that's a
It's
problem.
scary, The boys, they want to be men too quick.
Yeah.
Too quick. And what it is, they watch us. They're watching the lack of togetherness from mum and dad. Oh yeah, my dad's just always arguing with my mum, Oh yeah, man. I hear them at the school. I'm thinking, right, how do you guys feel about that? Oh yeah, but dad, Robert, my dad's a waste man, Robert, yeah, you see my mum, she's always moaning, Oh yeah, I heard him on the phone last night. And you hear it regularly. There's a lack of togetherness. And, instead of, like, I hate the word baby mother. I hate it. No woman should be called baby mum. Yeah, that is your child's mum or your child's father. Like, yeah, you even thought of that word anyway. Like, I'm always curious, who thought of these words? It's actually quite negative and toxic, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we got to do better, though. Do you know what I mean?
Can I just pick up on something that you said?
Yeah.
I think that's a massive problem as well. So from relationships that parents have, and where young Black boys see their dads as waste men.
Yeah.
That's a massive problem.
Yeah.
Because you touched on it and I agree with it.
Yeah.
There's a certain point as a mother that you can rear your son.
Yeah.
And there's a certain point where the father's supposed to take over.
Yeah.
However, if you've exposed your child to your mum as a cheat and she's a hoe, she's boxed out how many mans and all this sort of stuff, he's now not rating you about how he's talking about your mum. So how is he going to rate you when you're trying to install discipline and boundaries? Because he ain't even fairing you. Now, when I was growing up, I fed my parents.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It weren't even about the licks, even though we got licks. Yeah. When you get to a certain age, you don't get licks no more. So you just have fear of your parents, their disapproval, what they think of you, what your family.
Yeah.
But if you don't rate people,
then you don't care.
They're not scared, You see,
they're
nowadays,
not. That's the thing. There's no authoritative figure.
Yeah.
There's no one to say, okay, cool, fix up yourself, pull up your pants, and go to school.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you chilling on the corner doing what you're doing. Get your ass in school now. There's no one to have that conversation with them.
Yeah.
So from time there's no one to have that conversation. Do you think they're going to fear the police?
They don't.
Do you think they're going to fear the police? Do you think they're going to fear the court system? Anything that we put in place as a society, which is boundaries, they're not going to do any of that. It's just like, you're a joker. Like, you're just you're a white man, you're a pig, you're this, you're that. Do you get what I mean? But it's because they don't have that fear. They don't have somebody to say, to whip them into shape, essentially. And I'm not saying that parents need to be harsh and they need to,
boundaries.
Boundaries.
My son will say stuff like me, cool. Am I your little brethren? My mum switched on my son, on Friday. There was an arrangement, he's supposed to get a job. My mum said, I'm gonna find out. And he was like, cool. She's like, cool. Friend.
Nice.
And I think it's true. You have to have boundaries, because I have boundaries still
100%.
with my grandparents and stuff.
100%.
I have boundaries with my uncle and auntie. At the age that I am, I still have those things installed in me. And I think sometimes we want to be brethren with your child.
100%. What do you guys think about this? So I was reading actually an article, actually in the Guardian last week. You know, the Guardian and the Times. You know, one reads them newspapers and everything. But no, it's good. It's good.
You don't watch the news. The Guardian and Times you want to read.
No. You know, sometimes it's good to read like these. Remember, these are the Guardian and the Times. Remember, these newspapers are to the masses. You know, it's to the upper class and you know the Ofsteds and the education. So you know, when them articles are there, it's like, okay, everyone's reading this thing, And one of the things that's lacking, there's no more Saturday schools anymore, right? Now this is a thing, Now, there's people talk about funding issues. No, let me tell you something. People are making good money nowadays, right? Because I know if I got me. And I got a next other Don and a next other man, and next other man, right? Yeah, and we put like, right, listen, you man, let's put 2 bills together each month, right? Yeah, we can get this haul for like at least 6 months. This is just an example and everything now. And then, right, listen, do you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna employ like, let's say 5 members of staff, but we're gonna make sure we employ 3 teachers and 2 TAs, right? Yeah, and we'll do like 9 to 11. Maybe like an hour break and then like 1 to 3. Do you know what I mean? Right? Yeah. And it's lacking. Because I'll tell you what, right? Yeah. If you got more Saturday schools to maybe implement the things that are missing actually in the school, right? Yeah. It makes a difference. You know, it will make a difference. What am I even talking about? It will make a difference.
You're talking so much sense, man. I like you. Do you guys even know the reason why Saturday schools were even put in place in the beginning? Do you know the reason why?
I don't know.
All right, so if you watch, I can't remember who made the films, but there was a thing on BBC where there was like black films coming out, and it was about all different stuff with the Caribbean culture, the Windrush, and when it came over. Basically, Saturday schools were put in place, as you well know. They say that black Caribbean boys, again, I'm gonna go back to us again, are doing worse academically in school back then, when the Windrush came and whatever. So what the black community done is they said, no, our boys are not going to be failing. What we're going to do is we're going to put in weekend extra work. And what they had is their own teachers. And they had black teachers teaching. I went to a Saturday school. I don't know about you guys, but I went to a Saturday school growing up when I was younger. And they implemented this to make sure that these boys were getting the education that they needed because, as they say, black boys statistically do worse in GCSEs, all that type of stuff across all different ethnicities. That was the purpose and the place of Saturday schools. And then, like you said, it dwindled. But it's interesting that you say this now of the effect of bringing back Saturday school, because that thing that we're saying that is lacking in education is a thing that can be put back in place again. And you put your child back into that system again. When you say, we're now taking control.
100%.
We're going to use our own people to educate you, to give you the skills that we do not think you're getting from school, which was originally done, if I'm right, it was done from the 90s. That was rolled out. And everyone, I knew enough people that went Saturday school. And we were taught by black teachers. Everyone was black. It was Caribbean, to be fair. It was... Back then, there weren't that many African people around, so it was all Caribbeans. And we went Saturday school, and there were Saturday schools dotted all over the place. 100%. And it was a regular thing that your parents, no matter what, Margaret Thatcher's times, like I told you, it was hard. We were going to Saturday school. So I think you've kind of got got a little gem there, because that's the thing.
Because you know the thing as well, right? Okay, so I know a lot of great black professionals, women and men. We're on good money, we're on decent money, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I spend 5 bills a month on rubbish that might be buying trainers that I don't need, or 2 pair of jeans. I'm like, what? These jeans are heavy. I'm getting these jeans, or I love traveling. Like every month I'm out. I just came back from Sweden. It was a mad thing, But but the point I'm trying to make, right? We all earn good money, and I tell you what, right? There is no issue in London right now in 2023 for everyone to donate £100. if you got 10 people, donating £100, a grand, yeah. There are some halls all over London. They're only asking like
£50 an hour or something even smaller than that.
That is it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And sometimes they're like, okay, right, I'll do a deal with you. All right. It's 1,500 for 3 months. And then you go to the school. Oh, hi, we're running a temporary safe space Saturday school for blah 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 blah. So these are alternatives that we can do. Listen, let me tell you something. Right.
You've got ideas. You're an ideas man.
I'm an ideas man.
Yeah.
But but I can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
Do you know where I'm coming from? Right. Yeah. So there are alternatives and everything. But but we must come together. And once again, it is community, but creatives. Yeah. And people that's not on a long thing. Like, see me, I'm not in the long thing talk. We're doing this thing. Let's make it happen.
You've got an investor, I believe.
And
I believe that we have to invest in our community.
Absolutely.
Because like I said, I'm worried about how these young men and women who are of today that are in this culture, what will they become? This is supposed to be our legacy, guys. Yeah, like I said, I'll go back to the Caribbean. We came on the Windrush. This was not how it was supposed to be ending. Not on this level of this violence and what we're known for. And like you said, there are so many Black women and men who are high and who are in places and should be celebrated more. But actually, we need to be thinking about what's the generation after us. And we need to invest in our generation. Because if the government ain't, who else is?
But you know, as well as, but this is another thing that frustrates me as well. I'm never going to call it, I'm not going to say no names, right? Yeah. But even sometimes with people like in the limelight, they don't do enough as well. You might reach out to them by email or Instagram or LinkedIn, whatever, whatnot. They're not getting back to you. Yeah. You might reach out to their PR people, right? Yeah. Because there are certain names that are game changers out there. And I tell you this now, if you get their co-sign, right? Yeah, it will go 100 miles and there's some, right? Yeah, it will blossom. But sometimes it's hard to get to the game players and the top people out there. So for me, I always say to Nana, right? Yeah, bruv, let's reach out to the MPs. So example, Nana is a social worker, and I'm going to be honest with you, like, young people don't rate social workers. I also believe in society, social workers are not given the recognition and the respect that they deserve. But yeah, it's almost like, oh yeah, social worker. Yeah, sometimes as well, the pay. What? I'll be honest with you, I am more than a social worker. Yeah, I'm thinking, right, like, if I want to be a social worker, I'm thinking, why should I be a social worker? What is appealing to be a social worker? They don't even make it appealing.
No, but it's the love.
Hang on. Because now, listen, I am a social worker advocate. Trust me. Yeah, right. Yeah, but like the unions. No, and I'm going to say this because the unions, I don't think they're doing enough. Are you mad? You think I'm paying my little £25 a month, right? Yeah, that you're getting my little shingles, right? Yeah. What are you doing for me? What are you making happen? Yeah, right. If I'm a what's it called again now? If I'm a what's it called again now? A union rep. Yeah, sorry, my apologies. If I'm a union rep now, right? Yeah, right. Part of my job is to stand up for my people. Them, yeah, right. Stand up. And I know there's been certain things behind the scenes, but it's not enough.
We ain't had a strike yet.
No,
this is the mad thing.
It's not enough.
We've not had a strike yet.
But guys, that is another ep.
Yeah,
that is another ep. I'm just conscious of the time.
Politics and everything.
There's a lot.
Sorry.
Ultimately, though, there is a lot of work to be done. And there are people in affluent places and spaces that can make those changes. I do think the groundwork really does essentially start at home. So what you can physically see, if you can impact a niece or a nephew or a cousin or whatever, trying to help out that way, and then obviously spreading your wings. If you go to church, if you do certain little things, like you might even run into a young person in the shops or whatever, like have a chat, converse with them. Like, let's not be worlds apart so we lose touch with like what's actually happening and we become desensitized when these things are happening, and then we're upset when other races are saying, well, that's all you're known for, and do you know what, let them kill off themselves or each other, which is stuff that I've seen. But it's very serious times. the youth are our future, essentially, and we do need to invest in our future. We need to think about what we're doing, like as a unit, as families, whether it be families together, families who are separated, how our actions as adults, as parents, impact those young people, and obviously what then they have to do, and so on and so forth. But it's been good having you on, Rob.
Yeah. Thing,
where can the people find you?
Oh my gosh, Nana does all this normally. Oh my gosh. All right, so yeah, you can find us on Instagram, The Social Worker and the Mentor, YouTube, The Social Worker and the Mentor, Twitter, The Social Worker and the Mentor, Spotify,
The Social Worker and the Mentor.
Social Worker and the Mentor. Apple's coming soon, pending.
Oh, lovely.
Also Patreon. We're in the process of doing our Patreon for CPD. Yeah, man, documentaries are coming, films are coming. Yeah,
guys, they got pure stuff coming.
And just for the social workers, I did see you guys on community care. So those social workers that are watching, I see you guys on community care.
Well done. Like, these are doing, like I said, they're doing big things. Proud of them as 2 Black males, within the professional fields, trying to make a difference for the professionals as Black professionals, but also for the young people and children that they work with. So hand claps, make sure you follow them, make sure you subscribe and all of that great stuff. We are Mama Drama Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Make sure you like on Spotify. And guys, check out Drip Punch, yeah? Yummy. Yeah, good stuff.
Very nice. Got different flavours out here.
Where
drip.